therefore are not aware that they might be carriers of one demon or more. They never imagine that whatever physical or psychological illness they suffer may indeed be caused by evil spirits that have made their home in them. Many emotional disorders, neuroses, fears, phobias, even physical illnesses, psychological disorders, diseases have been caused by a demon that has established his nest in their soul and infested their bodily faculties. This is biblical. In the Gospels, when the apostles and Jesus cast out demons, their physical illnesses left along with the demons. They were cured. The Gospel relates Jesus cast out demons and therefore cured many people suffering from this or that illness or disorder. Although several Christian churches have discontinued the custom of casting out demons from people and places and even consider exorcisms outdated and distasteful, one discovers in the first letter of John 3:8, Christ came to earth to destroy the devil's work. I here recall that in sacred scripture, we all know Satan tempted first Eve, then Adam, whereby original sin infected the human race and mankind lost access to the terrestrial paradise. We know that. On account of original sin, Adam and Eve forfeited the preternatural gifts that God gave them in the Garden of Eden, which include immaculacy, that is immunity from concupiscence, infused knowledge of God and the material order around them, and immortality. And as Genesis relates in the opening chapters, on account of original sin, thistles grew, beasts became wild. Planets today became, on account of original sin, burnt-out cinders, floating in the immensity of space. And there ensued ice ages, floods, natural disasters, diseases, suffering, death, temptations that now govern this great cosmos of ours. This is the present state of affairs. We are no longer, my friends, in the Plan A creation, but the Plan B. Plan A was Adam and Eve live without sin or pain or temptation. Plan B, we live with all the above. And Plan C is when Christ returns to restore the primordial beauty we enjoyed in the Garden of Eden, we being human beings. The teaching on original sin being transmitted to us by our first parents is present in the Church's early biblical and patristic tradition. For example, in his letter to the Romans, St. Paul plainly states, now this is Romans 5:12, death passed to all men inasmuch as all sinned. And the earliest recorded church fathers that preached the doctrine on original sin as an infectious disease that runs throughout the genes of every human being that is born into this world, of course without Jesus or Mary, were Athanasius, Basil, Pseudo, Didymus, Ambrose, Ambrosiaster, Chrysostom, Augustine, and more. I did my licentiate on patristic theology at the Gregorian University in Rome and was given a grant by the Biblicum to study theology in Israel. And I mention this because I had exposure to these early church fathers that I'm sharing with you now and their teachings on original sin. Though we are conceived with original sin, we do not bear the guilt of Adam and Eve. We are not punished for original sin, but purified from it, which occurs at baptism. And the Council of Trent acknowledges that even after baptism, the inclination to sin remains in the baptized. So baptism does not do it all, you see. It begins the work of sanctification. Now, in sacred scripture, there are over 1,000 references to the devil. Of these 1,000 references, 568 come from the New Testament. If therefore in Scripture so much attention is given to the activity of Satan in the world, one must ask, why is it that today such little attention is given to casting him out? The answer is found in the Church's historical decline in demonology. Let us briefly review the Church's history and see how this change came about, all right? The first period of the Church is the time of Christ and the apostles. Casting out demons was an integral part of the apostolic mission. The apostles interpreted the Lord's command literally, which is, in quotes, "In my name you shall cast out demons." This is Jesus speaking to his apostles. And all four gospel writers, mind you, talk about casting out demons. Take, for example, Matthew's Gospel, chapter 10, verses 7 through 8. Mark's Gospel, chapter 16, verse 17, and so on and so forth. I already mentioned John. How about 1 Peter, the letter in the New Testament? Peter says that Satan prowls the earth like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him solid in your faith. And Acts, chapter 10, verse 38, in which Peter tells Cornelius that the very purpose for which Jesus came to earth was to set us free from Satan's power.
Well, that is all.